The South China Sea has become one of the most dangerous flashpoints in the world today. In recent years, tensions have grown among countries claiming parts of this busy sea. Skirmishes, Coast Guard standoffs, and military buildups have all contributed to a feeling of unease in the region. Many nations watch these developments with concern, knowing that any mistake could lead to larger conflict. Recently, a new dynamic has started to take shape. The Philippines and Taiwan, two neighbors with similar concerns, are showing signs of closer military cooperation. This is a significant development. Both countries have had to deal with pressure from China. Now they seem to realize that working together might help them stand up for their interests. These changes could reshape the balance of power in the South China Sea. Other countries, like the United States and Japan, are also paying close attention. The alliances and rivalries in this area could influence security across Asia and even the world. It is important to understand what is driving this new partnership. To do so, we must first look at why the South China Sea matters so much to so many. The South China Sea is not just important for the countries that border it, it is a vital waterway for the entire world. Every year, goods worth trillions of dollars pass through its shipping lanes. Oil, gas, food, electronics, almost everything you can imagine, travels by ship through this sea. Countries far from Asia depend on these trade routes. If the South China Sea were to become unsafe, global trade could be disrupted. Prices could rise, and shortages could happen everywhere, not just in Asia. This is one reason why countries like the United States, Australia, and even those in Europe care about what happens here. The region is also rich in resources. There are large reserves of oil and natural gas beneath the sea. The fish in these waters feed millions of people in Asia. Controlling these resources means power and wealth for any nation. Because of all these reasons, the South China Sea has become a place where strategic interests collide. It is a stage where both economic and military power are tested every day. Many countries claim parts of the South China Sea. The most powerful and vocal is China, which says it has rights to almost the entire area. This claim is shown by the so-called 9-dash line on Chinese maps, which covers nearly 90% of the sea. Other countries involved in the dispute include Vietnam, Malaysia, Brunei, Indonesia, the Philippines, and Taiwan. The Philippines and Taiwan both claim sections close to their shores. These claims sometimes overlap with each other, but both countries are most concerned about China's sweeping claim. China has built islands and military bases in the sea, angering other countries. Tensions have led to face-offs between ships, and even the seizure of fishing boats. International law says that countries have special rights over waters up to 200 miles from their coast. This area is called an exclusive economic zone, or EEZ. China's claim cuts into the EEZs of several other countries, including both the Philippines and Taiwan. These disputes have not been solved by talks or international courts. Instead, the situation has become more tense, with countries trying to defend their claims through both words and actions. China has acted aggressively to support its claims in the South China Sea. Over the past decade, it has built artificial islands on reefs and rocks, then turned them into military bases. These bases have runways, radar systems, and missile launchers. Chinese Coast Guard and Navy ships patrol the area regularly, sometimes blocking or harassing vessels from other nations. In 2016, the Philippines won a case at an international court in The Hague. The court ruled that China's 9-dash line had no legal basis. However, China rejected the ruling and continued its activities. This has made the Philippines and other claimants feel threatened and frustrated. Taiwan, which controls the largest natural island in the sea, Itu Aba, has also seen its fishing boats confronted by Chinese ships. Both Taiwan and the Philippines have increased their patrols in response. Sometimes their own coast guards have clashed when enforcing their separate claims. These actions have led many to fear that a larger conflict could break out. The need for new partnerships has never been more urgent for smaller countries in the region. Recently, there have been clear signs that the Philippines and Taiwan are starting to work more closely together on military matters. In 2024 and 2025, both countries held joint Coast Guard exercises for the first time. These drills focused on search and rescue, anti-piracy, and how to respond to accidents at sea. While these activities are officially non-military, they show a willingness to coordinate in face of common threats. There have also been reports of intelligence sharing. For example, The two sides have exchanged information about Chinese ship movements near the Bashi Channel, which is a key waterway between Taiwan and the northern Philippines. This helps both countries keep track of what China's doing in their shared neighborhood. Diplomatic ties have also grown stronger. Philippine officials have visited Taiwan to discuss maritime security, and Taiwanese leaders have stressed the need for like-minded neighbors to cooperate. These partnerships were not common in the past, as both countries tried to avoid angering China. This new cooperation suggests a shift in thinking. Both Manila and Taipei now see each other as useful partners in facing bigger challenges. So, why are the Philippines and Taiwan moving closer together now? Well, the main reason is the growing pressure from China. Both countries have seen Chinese ships come closer to their shores, and both have experienced threats to their fishermen and Coast Guard crews. Another big reason is the changing security environment. The United States has promised to defend the Philippines if attacked, and the US is also a key supporter of Taiwan's defense. By working together, Taiwan and the Philippines make themselves stronger and show the world they are not alone. There's also this sense that the old way, working alone, just doesn't work anymore. Cooperation brings more resources, better information, and honestly, a stronger voice in international discussions. Even if their claims sometimes overlap, both countries know that unity can help them face bigger problems. Finally, this partnership is about sending a message. It shows that smaller countries can stand up to powerful neighbors by joining forces and seeking support from others. The growing partnership between the Philippines and Taiwan has not gone unnoticed by major powers. The United States has welcomed these moves, saying that such cooperation helps keep the region free and open. The US has also increased its military presence in the area, conducting joint patrols and training with both countries. China, on the other hand, has expressed strong disapproval. Chinese officials warn that any military cooperation with Taiwan is a red line that should not be crossed, and they have accused the Philippines of playing with fire by working more closely with Taipei. This kind of language definitely raises the risk of even sharper tensions. Japan and Australia are also watching closely. Both countries have their own security partnerships with the Philippines and want to keep sea routes safe. Some European countries have even sent ships to the region to show support for freedom of navigation. These outside reactions add another layer of complexity. The South China Sea is not just a local issue, it's actually a concern for the world's most powerful countries. If the Philippines and Taiwan continue to grow closer, the security dynamics of the South China Sea could really change. Their cooperation might make it harder for China to intimidate them with its superior military, and it could also inspire other countries in Southeast Asia to strengthen their own partnerships. However, there are definitely risks. China could respond by increasing its military pressure, leading to more dangerous standoffs. There's also a risk of misunderstanding and accidental clashes between ships or airplanes. Diplomats will need to work hard to keep communication open and avoid escalation. On the positive side, closer ties could encourage peaceful solutions. If countries see that they can cooperate and stand together, they may be more willing to talk rather than fight. International organizations might get more involved, helping find ways to ease tensions. In the end, the outcome will depend on how carefully all sides manage these new relationships and the tensions that come with them. The partnership between the Philippines and Taiwan is still new, but honestly, it could have a big impact on the future of Asia. As both nations face pressure from China, their cooperation may grow even stronger. This alliance could actually become a model for other countries that feel threatened in the region. The close ties also raise some important questions. Can smaller countries shape their own future in the face of bigger powers? Will cooperation lead to peace or bring new risks of conflict? The answers will depend on how leaders act in the coming years. For now, the world is watching. The South China Sea remains a test of whether disputes can be managed without violence. The Philippines and Taiwan, by working together, are trying to show that unity can be a source of strength. Their choices will help shape not only their own security, but also the peace and stability of the entire Asia-Pacific region. The next chapter is just beginning.